Hello everyone, this is Greyshot 17 here bringing you a video on Sealed Division I actually wasn't expecting to make, but enough of you requested it that I actually kind of felt like it was kind of reasonable that for me to make it, especially if I'm doing a replay series. So a lot of you question like the deck system or what exactly people use, because that isn't really shown in replays. So I want to kind of go over that. So battle groups are something you use in Sealed Division Normandy 44 as a deck. You deploy that. So I pick my armor deck, and that's what I get for that game. And I can pick any deck I want on the Allies or Axis. It just depends on what you pick. Now, in case you're wondering, oh, Greyshot, what decks are there? So I'm going to hit Create Deck. There's all these decks right here. There's a lot of decks, each one with their own unique abilities and whatnot. And it's not all American. We can see here we have 3 American, we have a French deck, we have 3 British decks, we have a Canadian deck, and then we have a good old free free Poles deck. And each of these decks come with their own specializations. Now, in case you're wondering, like, okay, that's cool, just a reminder, so these are the pictures for them. You have the name of them. Over here is what they are. So this is armored, airborne, infantry. Those are the 3 basic ones you're going to have. Oh, and of course, sorry, 4 mechanized. Almost forgot about that. But yeah, so you have 4 different decks that you'll pick, or like variations. Each one's slightly different. And again, you can go over each one of these and kind of tells you a little bit about each deck, which is actually pretty cool. And it actually tells you a little story about like what they were doing on or before D-Day. Oh yeah, see, the first Allied, I was gonna say the first Allied division entered D-Day in action. So another little story about what's going on over here. And also it gives you a brief recap of what this deck is good for and what's not. So, and then lastly, of course, you face A, B, and C. So, for those who don't know, the game has 3 escalations within a game. Phase A, Phase B, Phase C, and unless you have something like a custom game which ramps it up significantly, it's going to be under these 3 sets where slowly but surely ramps up, and that just depends on the deck. Each deck's different. And now click on, let's say, the airborne deck. So I'm going to select that. You can see here it has all these different things. So of course, airborne is going to be more specialized against infantry. I'm going to discard this. Quit. Yes, discard. And let's say I want to create a armor deck. Well, of course, if I pick the armored one, it's going to have less infantry and more armor. And each of these are, and it's cool actually how you get to zoom in on the tank. Look at the detail on that. I love the fact that it's awesome detail. Though, of course, it's like has some pretty good effects. It takes a little while to load in, but you can do this with every single tank. So I want to pop in this char. I can look around and see, oh, look at the detail on that thing. So pretty good detail overall. And you can, of course, go into a great view of what exactly it is and look at the all detail, like a little model, kind of like that. I know it's like I know like games like Batman Arkham series kind of offer that in a weird way for some of the characters, but whatever the case. Discard. Alright. But anyway, so yeah, you fill up a deck and you have so many. So you have these points. And of course, you have to have 40 slots that can go in anywhere. Of course, it's going to be more or less. But you essentially fill it in how you want, and you pick pretty much your type of play, whether it's going to be more of an air style, more of an armor style. Infantry is the backbone of this, of course, but you can kind of plan how you want things to go. For example, more of a heavy phase A, maybe a solid phase B, or an extensive phase C to really bring in the firepower, the late game heavy stuff. It just depends on what you want to do. Now I'm just going to discard. Alright, I guess I'll just back out. Now, each of these decks are specific to each thing, and just in case you're wondering, so again, we have the 3rd armor, so I'll go over each one. We have that's more armored, which is why, again, you look at phase C, they have so many goddamn points coming in because they just plow everything down. They actually want to, again, unfortunately, not a lot of armored units in this game can really match the Germans on the Allied side, but some of these guys can, and again, I'll show you why just real quick. Again, we go down here. They have a lot of really, really thick armored tanks that can just suck up all the firepower of those King Tigers and just allow them to be like, use everything and maybe not even pierce this thing all that effectively, which is why it's so good. So I'm just gonna, oh right, I have to quit. Maybe not the best system on that, just saying. But yes, you have the infantry. I use this because, again, it's great for infantry, and then, of course, the air support that you get. You have the 2nd Infantry. Again, you can see here it's good with just infantry and artillery. Again, that's why a lot of the infantry and airborne is good. Infantry and either artillery, or you're going to bring in a lot of planes, and that's what the airborne's good with. And then, of course, we have these guys, which are good for their, let's see, armored transports. So, some heavy infantry. Again, some of them don't have a lot. Like, yes, some of the armored divisions will have good stuff, but mostly not. Again, and then we look at the normal infantry. Yeah, these are, like, for example, this one. Oh boy, this is fantastic at just annihilating units with its artillery. Again, to put in perspective, bring in some of the artillery you got. So it has a lot of just normal propelled artillery. You got some of, again, more mechanized, and then my preference are these little things. Oh, it's a little Jeep, Greyshot. How's this thing gonna hurt? Well, this little goddamn Jeep will annihilate you by calling in artillery off map, which is pretty powerful in its own right. And will even kill like stuff like Stoogs and Panthers. And on the Axis side, again, I'll just pull up them. They have their own stuff too. And I like how, like, some of them, let me see, some of them actually have really funny backstories, like they weren't even supposed to be on D-Day. Like they ran into Paris and drank, which I find hilarious. But yeah. And then of course it goes over, I think it's, some of them like were just like actually fought valiantly, and then other ones were like, yeah, we're out, peace. Yeah, but anyway, so more armor companies, and again, that's what the Germans are really good for, is their armor. They have some really good planes and infantry, but yeah, their armor is what really separates them a lot of the time, and their artillery that just has more. They don't have necessarily the like off-map artillery a lot, but what they do is they have a lot more of the just normal Panzerwerfer artillery, which is still very, very powerful. So moving on, so that's what you kind of get. Each one of these is more specialized, and I can kind of go into detail, but at least this gives you a basic idea about what these battle groups are. That's why I kind of just want to explain, because people just had no clue what the heck I was talking about with the decks and everything, and at least here you can kind of see what each of these decks are. Unfortunately, they're all German. I know it's Normandy. They're not going to have Italian troops, but you know, that's something that would be kind of cool. Just saying. So of course you do have with these, again, different units as well. I mean, they're kind of the same thing as the Allies, but of course they do have some things the Allies don't have. Oh yeah, like these things. These tank buster planes I love, because they typically will kill a plane. That's what I love about these things. They will actually kill. Let me remove that. They will actually destroy enemy armor, unlike American planes, which really don't do that. I've tried to call them in and kill planes. Occasionally I'll be lucky, but it's just simply not the case. And yeah, again, you can even click a bomber and just see the detail. I love, again, just like the crew inside and everything. Really, really awesome detail. But again, what they excel at is their tanks. And in case you're wondering, yes, they can call in a goddamn King Tiger. It is 350. It is 350 points. But if I look at this damn thing, you're going to just marvel and be like, oh, it's like Greyshot. You can just easily kill it. No. This thing is a beast on the battlefield. Because again, if I click on a tank and go down to it, it has 19 armor and a 22mm gun. Alright, the Jumbos have 20, so that's like the best allied, one of the best allied defensive tanks, and it can still pierce it. This thing is incredibly hard to fight. Incredibly hard to fight. But alas, people can still massively deploy them, and you will still have multiple King Tigers, and you're like, oh my god, how am I supposed to kill this thing? Now, it is incredibly costly, but it is a risk that, if you can use correctly, is worth taking, in my opinion. Because again, it's 125, so what, you have to wait like 3 or 4 if you're not using anything or barely using stuff to deploy it. So yeah, it'll take a while for that thing to deploy on a later game, but still, it is worth it. It is extremely powerful. But that's some of the special stuff that the Axis get over the Allies. The Allies get a bunch more lighter stuff, but the Axis just get this supremely powerful armor that does have some weaker side armor, but still, you have to flank the damn thing, which is also really, really tough when they can see you coming with decent recon. But yeah, so this is what a battle group is, and etc. And you can customize it to how you want. So I have more off-map artillery, but you can customize that to have more normal artillery. You can customize it to have different tanks, destroyers, and whatnot. If you want more just normal AT guns, great. You want tank destroyers, great. Whatever you want. But yeah, just to get in retrospect, that's what this is. And I hope that does help you guys understand some of the basics of this game. But yeah, this is a basic overview of the battle groups. I can go more into detail about maybe the perks of each battle group in a later video, but this was just to explain what the hell they are, because a lot of you messaged me in confusion about what battle groups are. And yes, I will be playing more as Axis. And again, I do hope you guys send in replays so I can get some awesome games. Already had some more interesting stuff happen, so yeah, I'll be probably posting another video soon with another replay. But yeah, this kind of was like kind of a more wanted to speed this thing up because I just got so many comments. Anyway, I'm kind of going on at this point, so I want to thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this little recap of the battle groups. Tune in next time for maybe a more a detailed, advanced look at them and specifically what is good. But that would be a very long video, so that would be sometime I would have to like do a lot of research in and make sure like I get the right points out. Because the last thing I want is to do a how-to video and just poorly describe a battle group. Be like, this is how you should have it, and it really not. But in any case, yeah, thanks for watching, and tune in for the next replay of Steel Division Normandy 44.